what you're talking about. I was here the whole time, and everything went perfectly, and there was nothing wrong, and today has gone perfectly, as you can tell. You literally dreamt about this? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did you dream about the scuff too? Did you curse me, Smormus? How are you guys doing? I've been awake since your last stream. Bruh. My last stream was so long ago. That was years ago already. What are you doing up? Go to sleep. Or not, you know. Yeah. I'm not one to judge. I don't have the best sleep. The best sleep routine or the best sleep schedule. So yeah, don't worry about it. Maybe if you keep watching me, you'll have better dreams when you do fall asleep. No, not allowed. Banned. You're banned. Okay, so I have a little bit of a different setup today because we're going to be talking about dreams and lucid dreaming and also shared dreams, which if you guys haven't heard about those, we're going to explain all about what shared dreams are and how they kind of just happen, I guess, apparently. I want to preface all of this though by saying that I am 1000% not crazy. I promise you. I promise I am not crazy. But the stories I'm going to tell, you know, maybe... Take them with a little bit of salt. Take them with a little bit of salt. All the streamers you watch have minimal scuff. Oh, gosh, Andrew. I guess that's what makes us endearing, right? Multiplayer dreaming? Yeah, dude! Multiplayer dropped. Let's fucking go! Your meds are kicking in, so you're gonna fall asleep. Okay, I hope you have a good night and sweet dreams, Lumi. Good night. Bye-bye. Well, if you do decide to bye-bye. But if not, I'll be here. Dreams got the multiplayer DLC? They did. They totally did. Multiplayer lucid dreaming would go so hard. Okay, we'll get there though. We'll get there. Hold on. The reason that I had to go and restart my computer was because I accidentally closed this driver that I needed for my tablet, my brand new tablet. So let's switch over to that, and then we can go ahead and get started with the stories. That's right. You gotta listen to me. You gotta listen to me. Also, let me see if I can turn on song requests also, so you guys have that. I'm working with 3 monitors today, guys. 3! And my mouse keeps getting lost. Keeps getting lost. Okay, we have unblocked hyperlinks. That should be there, and then let me just bring out the song request queue. All right, you guys should be able to do song requests now. I think. Media. Requests are there. Let me just move over and turn off that. It always like comes up really quietly and I don't know why. You should be able to hear it, but it should be really quiet. Your dreams are not coherent. Yeah, Yeah, definitely. Send in your dreams. I definitely want to read them. I'm definitely okay with it. Definitely share your dreams as I'm trying to get all of this together. I'm so sorry that I'm so scuffed. It's so quiet. Maybe if I do it on here instead. Um, oh, my mouse keeps getting lost. Amy, get it real quick. Go for it. You're usually a lucid dreamer, but sometimes I cannot. I literally cannot tell the dream from reality because I dreamed something really close to what I would normally see, if that makes sense. No, yeah, that totally makes sense. Lucid dreaming is so much fun. Let me get a song in the queue. And if you guys don't know already, just type in exclamation mark SR and then a song or a link. What song do I want? Let's just do the default song of Ancients. There we go. You know what else is fun? Your streams. Wow. How dare, how dare. So though. There we go. There we go. Oh, now it must be really loud for you guys. Hold on. There, that should be better. If it's still too loud, let me know. Still a bit loud? Okay. How's that? How's that? Is that better? Passing out now. Good night. Good night, Lumi. Bye-bye. Have some lucid dreams. I'll meet you in your dreams. Go ahead and send it on Discord anyway, Andrew, and I'll bring it up. Also, let me get in a new display capture. Create a new one. I call this tablet. Tablet. You're gonna see behind the scenes a little bit. Wait a minute. This one. Whoa! It worked! First try! 0 deaths. Okay, let's move that to here. There we go. And I'll just shuffle myself off to the side. There we go. Look at that. You guys are looking at my brand new spank tablet. Brand spanking new tablet. That was strangely threatening. I'm glad you caught that. Now it's in the Discord? Okay. Also be sure to fill in the song requests, because otherwise it's going to die and then it's going to get really quiet. Let's see if I can add some. Boop, 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 boop. What should we add? What should we add? Let's add that. Add. Okay, cool. We got it. We got it. So today we're talking about lucid dreaming, right? We're talking about lucid dreams and shared dreams. I know you guys I know you guys are maybe not going to fully believe everything I say, but that's totally okay. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Is all I'm going to say. I'm not going to lie. And some of the things like I don't fully remember anymore because it's like a bit it was so long ago. Most of these dreams happened when I was like a teen, like either in middle school or high school. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy the stories. Let me know if let me know if you think I'm crazy at some point. But or like try to call me out on stuff, but I promise you I'm not lying. Also, if you guys hear barking in a little bit, it's because I was dog sitting over the weekend and their owners are coming by to pick up the dogs. So they should be by in about like maybe 15 to 30 minutes, maybe an hour. So if you guys hear some stuff in the background, no, you didn't. All right. Hold on. Let me pull up my stories because I wrote them down too. Okay. I brought up my tablet because I wanted to like also show you guys kind of like some of the things that I saw. So mostly when it comes to lucid dreaming, some of the stuff that I would like really focus in on was just my nightmares. Because I feel like that was like probably the thing that I needed to change the most. You know what I mean? I would go into my nightmares, and every time something bad happened, I would try to rewind time and then try to get over my fears by playing out like different scenarios for different outcomes. So if something bad happened and I was like this, I was crying, I would just rewind time. And then I would be like, okay, let's try this in a different perspective. Let's try to get past this. Let's try to like maybe like beat the game, if that makes sense. I gamified my dreams. Yeah, I definitely did that. And so one of the different things that I would do besides like just like rewinding my dreams was also, like I mentioned, like try to gamify it and try to make sure that like I could discover all of the different possibilities, just like a video game. So one dream that I remember in particular was about a haunted doll. And I don't remember like what I was doing in this house or like what was going on, but all I remember was that I was in this bedroom and there was this giant bed. And the bed was like this, and it had like little balls on the top. It was like, I guess this is what people call a 4-poster bed, right? It's like this. And I was looking at it from like this perspective too. And there were like pillows. And it was like all nice, fancy and decorated and like really nicely done and stuff. And right in the middle here was a doll. And the doll looked like this. I do remember what the doll looked like. And it had like chubby cheeks. And it had those like weird eyes. Like this. It looked much creepier in my dream, I promise. And it had like a bow here. Got like a frilly dress. A long sleeve shirt like this. And it was like just sitting right here. It was like, boop. That's just a girl. No, it's a doll. It's a doll with chubby cheeks. Oh, you want the music to be lowered a little more? Hold on, let me check. Oh, where did my mouse go? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. I lowered it a little bit. So, okay, this doll, right? Definitely. Oh, whoops. Definitely a doll. Definitely a doll. And so I remember that when I came into this room, I saw this doll, right? And like, I don't know how to explain it, but you know how like in a dream you just know things? Well, in my dreams, I typically just know things, right? And so I stepped into the bedroom, I looked at this doll, and I was like, it's haunted. There's no way around it. It's haunted. 1000% haunted. So I go in and I remember I was like standing here, like little me was like standing here, right? These are my horns. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is haunted. And then as soon as I thought that, the the doll like sprinted at me and like my vision went black and then I couldn't see anything. And I remember in my dream, I realized I had died. And I was like, oh man, that was really scary. Like as I was going through it, I was like, damn, that was really scary. What the fuck? But how could I have done that differently? And so I rewound time. And then I was back. Suddenly I was back in this position. And I saw the doll, and I was like, okay, this time I'm going to toss it off the bed before it can get me. So as soon as I entered the room, I like ran. I ran and I punted the doll off the bed. Like I just punched it off the bed and it ended up falling over here. And there was like a wall right here. There was a wall right there. So it ended up falling over here. And now the doll is like right here. And I was like, okay, great. I did that. Now it can't get me anymore. Let me just erase some stuff over here. And I was like, great. It can't get me anymore, but now I was over here. I was on the bed. I was like right here on the corner of it. And so my curiosity got the better of me because like I wanted to see if it had worked, right? Like maybe the doll was like just a regular doll this time around. So of course, I had to look over the edge of the bed and I looked down. And as soon as I looked over the edge of the bed, it got me again. So that's Rain 0, Doll 2. I'm 0 for 2 now. I'm 0 for 2. Being able to rewind time in your dreams is a cool thing to do. Yeah. Except when this keeps happening. So then I rewound time again. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to look over the edge of the bed. This time, I'm just going to throw a blanket over it. And this is the doll. I'm like, if I just peek over. If I just peek over, if I just don't peek over the edge of the bed, and I just toss a blanket over it and I cover it, then it can't get me. So I did that, right? And suddenly I got a little bit further in the game or in the dream. And I was like, oh, okay, now I can look over the bed. It's not going to get me. And I was like, okay, problem solved. But then after that, I got curious. I was like, did it really just go away? Is it gone now? Like, it should be gone, right? And so I peeked under the blanket and then it got me again. Doll 3, rain 0. And that was the final count. After that, I stopped trying and I just woke up. I was like, no, thank you. I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't need to have this dream. But that was one of the dreams where, like, I kept consistently changing things in the background to make sure that I had, like, a different outcome, different things, different scenarios. It was in the moment I was having a bad dream, right? So it was tough for me to find it as fun or like find it enjoyable in the moment. But like looking back at it now, I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty cool thing I was able to do. I'm really happy I was able to do something like that. There was another example also where I changed some things because like I don't think that I could have like handled it mentally, if that makes sense. In dreams, you often get caught thinking it would be so horrible if this happens, and then that happens because I thought about it. Oh no. That's like this story working in reverse though. Also, being able to wake up when you want is insane for you to be able to do. Yeah. There's an example of that later on. But okay, so here's another dream that I had. There was a dream where I was in a facility. I think I was like, in the dream, I was like an elementary school kid. But I had like the mind of like myself in high school. And I remember I was in a facility for quote unquote gifted children. But it was really just like child experimentation that was going on in the facility. And so there were like a bunch of kids there and a bunch of scientists. And there was like this giant room. Like it was a giant circular room in the middle of the labs. And it was like encased in glass like this. And there was like play toys and stuff like that. And there were a bunch of kids running around. Bunch of little kids. And little play toys, building blocks, stuff like that. And so the dream itself was pretty cool. There was a bunch of stuff that happened in it, but what I remember specifically about this dream is that there was another little girl there. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. They came by to pick up the dogs. Okay, so yeah, in this dream there was another little girl. There's a little girl like this. What did she look like? I think she had hair like this, and her hair was pretty straight. Like this. And she had these really pretty eyes. And I remember her eyes the most. Oh, what's up with that eye? Okay. I fucked it up. But she had really pretty eyes. She had really... Okay, she had really pretty eyes that did not look like this. They were prettier than this, I promise. That's so beautiful. No way. No way. She had really pretty eyes, and the reason that I remember her eyes was because, like, if you zoomed into her eye... Oh, whoops. I fucked that up again. I fucked it up! But if you looked into her eyes, also this is an adult eye. What the freak am I? Okay, whatever. This is her eye. If you zoomed into her eye, it was like she had like dice in her eyes. What is this die? It was like she had dice in her eyes. Like, think of Code Geass. You know how, like, when he does the ability thing, like, you see, like, this bird come out of his eye? That's exactly what it was with this girl. She had, like, dice in her eyes. And her ability was that she could slice things with varying intensity, and the intensity varied on the number that her dice fell on. But her dice were in her eyes. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it more clearly that way. Hey, thanks for the follow, Ariana Ari. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. But yeah, okay, so this girl, she has dice in her eyes. And the level of like her ability, her slicing ability, her slice and dice, get it? It finally makes sense years later, slice and dice. Oh my gosh. But yeah, she had a slicing ability, and like it all depended on like her dice and stuff. And there was this one moment in the dream where we were all in the pit, but they were like trying to like 1v1 the kids to see like who was stronger and who had like gotten the better ability, and like who had like, you know, progressed the most, and you know, like typical like child experimentation stuff. Aww, my voice reminds you of someone you loved? Well, I hope that you and that person are both doing well. Feel free to stick around. I'm glad you like my voice. I'm a little self-conscious about my voice, but thanks. I appreciate that. That's so nice. That's so nice. So yeah, they were 1v1ing in the pit. In the ball pit, these kids. They were 1v1ing in the pit, and there was this girl versus some rando kid, right? And so I remember watching it from outside the pit. I don't know what I was doing outside. These are my horns. That's my hair. And I was like, okay, I guess this is how it's got to be, because this is the law of the land. This is the way that we progress in this place. But it got a little bit out of hand, and the girl like rolled way too high, and so she ended up killing this other kid. So now this kid is dead. He's on the floor. He's bleeding. He's dying. And he's all sliced up. But I remember like he died like right in front of me, like up against the wall and stuff. But like my mind was like, I cannot handle this amount of gore right now. I cannot handle like seeing this child be ripped to shreds, basically. So what my mind ended up doing was, instead of the kid basically being dismembered, it was like he was dissolving into bunnies. I know that doesn't make sense, but let me try to draw it. It's like if this was the kid, right? Like this is his profile view, and his arm got sliced. Then his arm like turned into like then his arm got turned into bunnies. Also, trying to draw bunny backwards is kind of weird. But yeah, they were like soft, like fluffy little bunnies, and they were so cute and adorable. And I remember thinking like, this is definitely not what's supposed to be happening. Like, I'm dreaming right now, and it's supposed to be like gory and messy and bloody. But for some reason, I was like, no, I don't want to look at that today. I don't want to look at that tonight. So they were like, his body parts were like dissolving into bunnies. And I remember thinking, like, bunnies? Like, really? I chose bunnies of all things? Like, it couldn't have turned into, like, marbles or something? Something, like, without a face? But, Yeah, that's what it turned into. My voice makes you happy even when I'm describing such gory details. I'm sorry about the gore. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm really happy that I wasn't looking at all of the gore in that dream. Not really. You know what I mean? Like I understood it to be gory, but it wasn't actually gory because it all kind of just fell away into bunnies. Hi, Ethan. Hello. How are you doing? How's your Sunday going? We are talking about lucid dreams. Oh boy. And then later when I got older and IRL stressors started bleeding into my dreams, I started having like a completely different version or genre of dreams. Like where all of my dreams when I was younger were a lot more fantastical and stuff. When I got older, things started to become a lot more like serious. There was one dream in particular that I remember having where I did not have a good time. Even with the lucid dreaming, I was like still not having a good time. So I ended up just waking myself up from that one. I was like, no way, no way. I don't want it. Take it away. You're doing good? Catching up on homework? Oh, that's great. I used to always leave my homework for Sunday too. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that on a Friday or a Saturday. I hope it all gets done. I'm sure it will. But you know what? Take breaks. Take breaks if you need to. So let's see if I can draw this one out. Oh, this is the wrong perspective. It was like maybe like this. So I was looking into this room, right? In this dream, I was a disembodied figure. And I was kind of looking into this room without people realizing that I was able to do this, right? And there was a bed here in the corner. And there was a girl. And she was laying down here with her feet out this way, and she was like this, and she was reading a book. And there was a door. Whoops, a door like that. And she was looking at the wall that would have been here on this side of the room. And I remember she was a really pretty goth girl. She had hair like oh, I fucked up that hair, but that's okay. Like this. Oops. These are just sketches, guys. These are just sketches. They don't have to be perfect. And I remember she had her hair like kind of in a ponytail with like beads on her hair. Like that. And she had like a choker on, and it was like all like metal. Like those spiky ones. And she had really heavy makeup too. Look kind of like this. A little bit more makeup. And she had like dark lips. Kind of like that. We talking about dreams? We are. We're talking about dreams, lucid dreams. It made her neck a little too long. But I remember she was wearing a tank top, like a really loose fitting tank top. You know, now that I think about it, this is starting to look a lot like that one VTuber. But anyway, she had a tank top and she was wearing undies. Like I think that was all she was wearing. She was just like in her PJs. Like that. What is that torso? Anyway, she was like wearing that, right? And she was really cute. She was on her bed, she was reading, and all of a sudden, like, I see the door open. It starts to open. And there's a guy. He's in a hoodie. And he peeks out of the door. And she doesn't notice him. She doesn't notice him because she's so engrossed in her book. And he starts coming out of the door and he starts like coming over to her. And she still hasn't noticed him. And this entire time, like there's like an impending sense of doom that just is like building and building and building in my chest. And all of a sudden I see him like holding a bat. And it's got metal nails all over it. And he's like inching towards her. And she still won't notice. And I'm like screaming in my dream, but like she can't see me. Like she doesn't know that I'm watching her. And it's just like, what the fuck, right? What the fuck is going on? Like I can't like see myself. I can't like feel myself, anything in the body, or like I can't feel anything in my body. And then all of a sudden, like as he's like approaching her, I hear a voice tell me like, you have to grind this metal ball. You have to grind this metal ball between your teeth. And if you can grind it in time, she'll be saved. It's like a little marble. A little marble like that. And I had to grind it between my teeth. I don't know how to draw teeth. And I remember thinking, like, this marble is so freaking hard, dude. Like, there's no fucking way that I'm going to be able to like, grind this marble before this guy gets to her. Like, my teeth are literally, like, I could feel my teeth, like, cracking and, like, crumbling as I tried my best to, like, fucking destroy this stupid little metal marble. But I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it in time, so I changed my dream. And instead of seeing a scene like this and me watching it, like from far away, it became a paper and pencil sketch. So it like became something like this. Where suddenly, like it zoomed out. Actually, yeah, it zoomed out and it was like I was looking at a sheet of paper. You know those lined sheets of paper? Like this? It became something like that. And then I reached out to it and I crumpled it all up and then I threw it away. I threw it away. That was me saying, I'm not going to deal with this today. I am not going to do this. It was really trippy, but it was also really traumatizing because like I still remember that dream and I still remember like that intense need to save her and to like do something about what was going on because like I couldn't hear them, they couldn't see me, but I knew this fucker was going to like do something horrible to her. So I ended up just throwing throwing that piece of paper away, and then I woke up. I was like, nah, I'm not having this. No way. No way, Jose. Yeah. So that was one dream where I was like, nope, no thank you. I do not want it. I do not want to perceive it. And then there were other dreams as well where like there were recurring characters and recurring storylines. And I feel like before I get into the next part about like shared dreams, I have to explain a couple of things. So just so you guys know where I was in life. But there, okay, so I had this best friend, right? Excuse me. We'll call him Theo. Theo. He and I were best friends. And he had an OC. He had two OCs, and I had an OC also, okay? Don't laugh. But this is our OCs. So there was like this guy here. Man, I haven't drawn him in so long. I wonder if this is even what he looks like anymore. Oh my god, I'm like cringing inside. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I remember. I haven't drawn this in so long. Oh my gosh. He had like a face like this, and I remember his hair was like all super curly, but also like really disheveled. This is him, and he always wore a hoodie. And I used to always draw it like this too. This isn't even how I draw hoodies anymore. But I remember like he had a pullover hoodie. And it was always like super baggy like this. And then he had his hands, right? And then he had really baggy jeans because that was all the rage back in the day. He had baggy jeans with like the chains. No! Oh no. And I remember I used to draw his feet like this. Oh no, oh no. Thank God Saya's not here. She would roast me. And his eyes were like this. He had like these kinds of eyebrows. And that was him. Very nice dude. His name? His name was Andrew. No, don't get Saya. No. This is Andrew. And then there was another OC. And this guy, he's easier to draw if I remember how to do it. Oh, I can't believe I used to draw hair like this. Look how bulky it is. But he had a headband. Like that. And then he had long hair. And he had like a regular t-shirt, but it was like underneath this long ass trench coat. Because of course he's wearing a trench coat. I think it was like this. He had pockets because I'm not going to draw hands. It's just a regular t-shirt and jeans. And he had long hair. So it was always tied back in like a low pony. But like his hair was like long. It was like that. And his eyes were more sharp. Oh, what happened to that eye? Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. he always had this expression on him. Like this. And his name was Koji. Hey, Juggy, hello! Welcome in, welcome in. You're an OC, I'm gonna get trauma and all my parents are gonna die. What? Oh, because this guy's Andrew. Yeah. You're this OC, apparently. Okay. So there was this guy. He had regular jeans. And then I had my OC. And my OC. We're gonna call my OC because I am not saying their real name. What should we name her? We'll call her Senna. And she kind of has a similar hairstyle. And I remember we built like a whole like lore and story, like backstory to these characters. And I used to draw comics of these characters too. Like going on adventures. I used to always draw like ponytails like this, like high ponies. And she also had long hair, but it was not as long as this guy's. And I don't remember the clothes. Like, I'm not joking. I don't remember the clothes she was wearing. But I think it was just like a regular shirt and like a hoodie like this, like a zip-up hoodie. Like this. And then just regular jeans. Like that. And that was our trio. Comics, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm cringing. Don't. Ah. Oh yeah. Enir is this one's name, Enir? No, I can't be that obvious. Okay, so these three, right? They were the Holy Trinity. I'm dying inside. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I need to explain. These three characters like encompassed a large part of like my art in middle school and like a little bit in high school. And I remember like me and Theo were like best friends in middle school, and we used to come up with like stories for them and stuff. And so like a little bit about their backstory. This guy, he's a fire god. He's a fire god. He likes fire maniac. You know, that's him. But he was alive in like a long time ago, and then he was killed because he fell in love with this ice goddess, and like it was against the law to be in love or whatever. And so the rest of the gods killed both him and the girlfriend, like the ice goddess or whatever. And so like years later, they all like came back as spirits, right? And so he didn't have a body. Koji didn't have a body at all. So he had to like possess people in order to use his powers and to like fight the other gods and get the ice goddess back. And so he created Andrew. And so Andrew was kind of like a golem, kind of, where he was like made out of dirt. And he was built specifically only for like the purpose of like being a vessel for Koji. And then Senna, like she was from like a not a great household, but like she ended up running away because like of whatever was happening at home. But when these two found each other, like he told her like, oh, I remember you. You were also in my past life, and you were a catalyst to the gods. So like what that meant was that like basically if someone possessed her, their powers would be amplified times like, you know, X amount or whatever. But if they like just possessed like a normal person or like a creature that they created, it would be like a diminished amount of like power output, if that makes sense. Let me know if you guys get lost. Everything but the chain. Maybe he dreamt of you or saw you from the past. I don't know. But this was Theo's OC. And so like even though Koji had created Andrew to be the I guess like the entity or the person that he possessed in order to use his powers, he really wanted to keep Senna around because like she was like a catalyst, right? But that meant that like all of the other gods were also like trying to hunt her down, to try to like get her or to kill her so that nobody else could get her. Ooh, art. Yeah, art. Arts and storytelling. I'm talking about my my childhood OCs and lucid dreaming and sharing dreams. Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. So Senna was the catalyst. And I remember at some point these two, Senna and Andrew, had fallen in love in the storyline. And Koji was just kind of hanging out, being like, ew, this is gross. But anyway, these three characters would come up a lot in my dreams. Thank you. Thank you. I think I listed the alert down below in the description. If you want to check out who did that. I think they're in the credits. Let's see. Where was I? So there was this one dream, right, where I actually like shared a little bit of, or actually I shared a lot of this dream with Theo one day. They must start feeling real at some point. Yeah. It's what we had, you know? In middle school, there's not, sometimes like there's things going on around you that you can't really control, especially as a kid, you know? Like you don't have control over a lot of what happens to you when you're a kid. So this kind of just felt like the only thing that we had control over. And so we spent a lot of time doing this sort of stuff. Oh, thanks for the hydrate and posture check. And the stretch. Hold on, let me take care of that right now. Good stretch. Good stretch. Okay. Every time I say Andrew, your ears perk up. That's his name, though. I can't change it. That's your name, too. Okay. So in my dreams, I was Senna. And I remember I was running away from home for some reason. I think it's because someone had gone looking for me at home, and I was like, oh, trouble, I have to go. And so I ran. I ran away, and then I was passing by this school, and I was thinking to myself, I really need to meet up with Theo. But it had been raining recently, and so there were a bunch of puddles on the ground. And I remember as I got close to this school, I saw these strange looking men like towards the entrance of the school. And I was like, hey, that doesn't look good. Those look like the guys who came looking for me at my house. This place is not safe. So I was going to run, but then there was a puddle. And as I was like about to turn around, there was there was a picture. Like where my reflection should have been, there was a picture. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it was Koji. And he was like talking to me through this puddle. And he was like, hey, where are you right now? And I was like, oh, I'm at this school. And he was like, what school? What are you talking about? And I was like, dude, don't worry about it. Just tell me where you are and I'll go to you. I'll go tell you. Oh, why can't you give bits? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. Also, it got really quiet. Hold on, let me check the queue. If I can get there. Keep losing my mouse. There we go. I love Childish Gambino. Why is it not playing? That is so weird. I don't know. Thing is always messing up. Okay. So there was this puddle. Koji was talking to me. He was like, hey, we need to meet up. I was like, yeah, I agree. All right, let's find a place to meet and let's go. And so he was like, okay, me and Andrew are going to be at the park. So come meet us at the park. And I was like, all right, cool. We'll do that. So in this dream, I went to the park and I sat on a swing. And the swing was like this. And there was another swing over here. And I was sitting on the swing. And I was trying to wait for them, right? But then I felt like there was a bad presence nearby. I can't really explain what that means, but I jumped off the swing and then I ran. I ran towards the exit. There was like a fence with a gap in it, like this, where you can like run through. And then all of a sudden, this van pops up and the door opens. And it's Saya. It's Saya, and she like grabs me and she pulls me into the van. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And she's like, oh, it's just that I was driving by and I saw you. And I was like, oh, she looks like she's in trouble. She's running from someone. So I just like came up and like showed up and wanted to help. So we were driving away, right? And I was telling Saya like what was happening. And Saya was like, dude, I don't know about this. Like, I don't think you should see that Andrew guy anymore. Because it sounds like a bunch of baloney. Did Saya kidnap you? She did. She did. In my dream, she kidnapped me. And so she was like, it sounds like a bunch of baloney. And I was like, okay, I guess. But also, like, I can't just not go see him because there's like this whole thing going on. And so, like, she was like, all right, well, I'm not letting you out of this van, or I'm not letting you out of my sight. And I was like, okay. And then, like, I opened the door again. And I just rolled out of the car. I just rolled out of the car while I was moving. I was like, see you later, Saya. I've got to go save the world. And so I left, right? And because it was a dream, I was like, I'm not going to get hurt from this. And of course I wasn't hurt. So I got up and then I went back to the park. But this was after some time because I remember when I got back to the park, it was like nighttime. So let's erase all of this. So I get back to the park, right? And when I get back to the park, This is I guess Senna. This is from behind her head. I'm looking out into the park, and there's Andrew. And of course I can't see Koji, because Koji's not technically he's not real. He's like an entity. He is a spirit. Oh, his hair takes so long. Okay, whatever. And it turns out Andrew's evil. Andrew's evil. In the dream. And I'm like, oh no, Andrew, what's going on? And then all of a sudden the dream goes black. And then I wake up, and the next moment, like, I feel like my arm, like my left arm, is really hurt for some reason. And it's because there's a giant gash in it. And I remember thinking, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, did I just pass out? And it was because, like, Koji was in my head, and he was like, or he was possessing me, and he was in my head, and he was like, oh, you finally decided to wake up. And I was like, what do you mean? You just decided to possess me without warning me. Like, what the fuck? And so he explained, like, oh, I'm fighting Andrew right now. And we're, like, trying to basically, like, get him back so that he can, you know, be on the good side again. And so, like, we ended up fighting Andrew, and everything, like, the day was saved or whatever. And so, like, that epic journey finally came to a close. It was, like, a long-ass story. I gave you the TLDR. But it was a pretty epic story. It was a pretty epic story. And so the next day when I went to school, I told Theo about it. Remember, Theo is the person who made these two OCs. So I remember telling Theo about it. I was like, hey, this is what happened in my dream. This is what I did. And he was like, wait a minute. What do you mean? Like, why are you telling me back my dream? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, I dreamt that last night. What do you mean you dreamt it? And I was like, no, I dreamt it. And he was like, no, I dreamt it. And it turns out that we had shared a dream. Yeah, but the differences were, though, like, he started telling me what the dream was exactly, but he was telling me his version of the dream, if that makes sense. Like, he was telling the dream from his perspective. Since when did dreams have multiplayer? I don't know, man. I don't know. But, like, he told me the dream back perfectly, but it was, like, from his own perspective. So all of the blanks in my dream where I didn't know what was going on, or I didn't see Andrew or Koji, like, he filled in those gaps from his perspective. He was like, okay, that entire time where you were blacked out, this is what was happening. And I was like, I can neither confirm nor deny that this is actually what happened. And so, like, after that interaction, I was a little bit like, you know what? He could have just been, like, repeating everything that I told him back at me and then just, like, filling in the gaps, right? Like, it doesn't, like, there's no concrete proof that he dreamt this on his own, if that makes sense. Not that I don't believe him. Not that I don't believe him. He was my best friend at the time. And I was like, you know what? He wouldn't lie to me. He wouldn't lie. We have this big old backstory together. Why would he lie to me? But yeah, there was always that little bit of doubt. There was always that little bit of doubt of, like, well, what if he did? What if he just took what I told him and just, like, repeated it back? So then, okay, I forget all about that, right? I move on. I live my life, he lives his. And then we go through, or like, I go through high school, and I think I'm, like, in college or something. And I remember I had another dream. This time, I was at home, and someone rang the doorbell. And I was like, trying to get to the door to see who was outside, and the door has like these windows on the door, and they're tinted, and they're the sort of tinted that you can see outside, but the people outside cannot see you. So I was looking at it, and I was trying to see who it was, and there were these guys in like black suits outside the door. And I remember my little brother came up to me and he was like, "Who are they?" And I was like, "I don't know, but don't answer the door. Like, this is weird." And he was like, "Yeah, this is weird." And so like eventually like I was like watching them, right? And they went around the house. Hold on, I stopped drawing. The door was like this, and it has like two long windows like this. And then the doorknob is here. And so I was like here, like looking at them. And then eventually they like, my little brother was here. And eventually they like went around the house and towards the back of it from the outside, and I couldn't see them anymore. So I was like, okay, we should probably go outside and see what's going on. So I went outside and I looked around the house and I couldn't find them. I couldn't find them anywhere. And I was like, damn, that's weird. That's really weird. So my little brother looks at me and he's like, hey, this is my little brother. He's like, hey, I'm going to go back and I'm going to find a gun. And I'm like, what do you mean? We don't need a gun. What the fuck? Don't get the gun. There's no reason to go get the gun. Like, we didn't even know what they're here for. And he was like, no. They looked weird. They looked like they were here to start trouble. We got to protect ourselves and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know. I don't know about this. And so he did disappear a little bit. And then, like, I guess he went to get a gun. But at that point, I had gone around the house and, like, the dream continued, whatever. I agree with your brother here. No way. No way. There was no need for a gun. And so, like, I remember the dream progressed and I was like, okay, like, this is a regular dream, whatever. And then the next day, I was telling my mom about it. I remember I was sitting at the kitchen, the kitchen, like, the dining table. And I was telling my mom, this is what happened in my dream. Like, my little brother was there, and like, this is what he was doing. And then all of a sudden my brother comes in and he's like, oh, and then this happened. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, and then this happened, and then I went to get the gun, but you told me not to get the gun. But they went around the house, and I thought that we should get the gun because like things were looking a little sketchy. I was like, wait, I haven't even gotten to that point of the story yet. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, how did you know that? And he was like, oh, I had that dream. That was my dream last night. And I was like, no way, dude. No way. So that was the one time I was like, oh shit. Like, I didn't even finish telling the story and he was already like aware of what was going on. He already knew what was going to happen in the dream, and he was saying it as I was saying it, or like ahead of what I was saying as well. And my mom was just looking at us like, you guys are crazy. You guys like planned this or whatever. Like, you guys are pranking me. And I was like, I swear to you, I am not. And my little brother was like, yeah, no, like, I am not trying to prank you right now. I literally had that dream last night. And I was like, damn, bro. Dream multiplayer be real. Dream multiplayer is real. One second. Let me grab thing. There we are. How do I do this? Do I like knock out my friends? I mean, I will. No, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how to do it. It just happened. But the crazy thing is, though, like, it didn't just happen those 2 times. It happened again. It happened again, guys. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. And I don't know how it keeps happening. So, third time. Third time that I dream shared. I had 2 friends, right? It was this girl, we'll call her Rai. And then Rai had a partner. We'll call him Jace. So I had this friend, Rai. I really like Rai. And she like came over to introduce Jace to me in my dream. And like I have to explain this before moving forward, is that in this dream, it was like really, really like abstract. Like I remember I was sitting on this couch in my home, and in my home there's like this long hallway that you have to get through with the door that I was talking about earlier that looks like this. And then like you come out of it, and this way is the kitchen. This is a hallway. And then across from the hallway is the living room. And so there was like a couch here, and then there was a couch here, and then there was a single couch here, and I was sitting here. These are my horns. And so these two came in the door. They came this way, and then they sat here on this couch across from me. And I remember like in this dream, the house was filled with like this like thick fog. I don't know why, because nothing was on fire. And it's not like we had any trouble breathing. But like the house was just enshrouded in this fog. And they came in and they didn't say a word, but for some reason I knew what they were there for. I knew that they were there to like introduce Jace to me. And so like they sat down and they didn't say anything. And I just looked at them and they just looked at me. And then suddenly like my sister has a bedroom like over here, I would say, like down the hallway. So the hallway is pretty long. So if you go this way and then take a right at the last door, this is my sister's room. You love dreams like that? Yeah, they're pretty cool in the moment because like they feel very low energy and very like low commitment and stuff like that. But yeah, it was, I guess thinking about it now, I'm kind of like, whoa, this is a little weird, but like in the moment, it was very like, I don't know. It's a weird feeling just knowing things that you're not supposed to know. But okay, in this dream, my sister was in her bedroom and then she called Rai. She's like, "Hey, Rai, can you come help me with something?" And so like Rai got up and she went over to my sister's room, and so it was just me and Jace. And I remember sitting there and looking across from him, and we had not said a single word to each other. And I looked at him and I just said, "So why did you do it?" I asked, "So why did you do it?" And like he didn't say anything, but the look on his face, like suddenly the look on his face was like scared. Like he looked scared, and all of a sudden like he was looking at me like, "What the fuck? Like how could she have known that?" And I remember just like thinking in my head like, this guy's trash. Like, why, like, how could he do that? And then all of a sudden, like, Rai came back. Rai comes back and she's sitting on the couch next to him again. And then, like, she's kind of looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? Because, like, she's looking at him and he has this expression, like, super freaked out. And then I wake up, right? I wake up. And then the next day I tell Rai about it and nothing happens. She's like, oh, okay, cool. That's a weird dream. But, like, also I didn't tell her about the thing that I told Jace at that time. Because I was like, I don't want to fuck anything up. I don't want to curse them. I don't want to, like, speak it into existence. I don't want to do any of that. I'm just here to let her know that I had this dream and they were in it, and that's it. That's all I told her. Literally, that's all I told her. And then she was like, okay, cool. A year later, a year down the line, this is 1 year after. 1 year after. She comes up to me and she's like, yo, he did this thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of saw it coming. And she was like, what do you mean? You didn't tell me? I was like, it's because of this dream. Remember? And she was like, no, I don't remember the dream. And I was like, there was this dream. I guess I didn't tell you about it, but, like, this is what happened in the dream. And she was like, oh, dude, actually, he and I, her and Jace, these two. Rai told me she and Jace had shared that dream. Like, recently. Remember, this is 1 year after that she's coming to me and she's like, oh yeah, like, Rai, Jace, they both shared this dream. And the dream, boom, they were in my house. They came to see me. They were going to introduce him to me. And my sister called Rai away. And Rai came back and she was very confused and she didn't know what we were talking about. And I was like, okay, dude, but from my perspective, I had this dream years ago. I had this dream last year. And in my dream, like, I told him this and he fucked up and I knew he was going to fuck up. And she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, dude, did we all share this dream together? Because she was like, I confirmed with him word for word our dream. And we both had the same dream. And I was like, yes, dude. And I had the same dream that you two had. Three-player multiplayer. Three-player multiplayer dream. Rain is the fortune teller. I am the fortune teller, apparently. But dude, it was scary. I was like, how does it happen? Like, how do our brain waves link, like, a year later? You know what I mean? Like, how does that happen? I know we were originally talking about, like, lucid dreaming, but I feel like sharing dreams is also really, like, really one of those things that's out there that you just, like, you can't explain it. You can't tell me how it's done. I don't know. I've done it 3 times, apparently. Once with 2 other people. And I just don't know. I don't know how it happens. All of that to say, I've been lucid dreaming for a really long time. Like, basically since I could remember. Since I took my first baby Rain dreams. And eventually the steady progression gets you to multiplayer dreaming, I guess, if you continue to do it for years on end. But I've heard there are some, like, strats to try to lucid dream nowadays. One of them is like, oh, whoops. Writing your dreams? Like in a dream journal? Yeah, writing your dreams in a dream journal. How do you do this when I can't lucid dream for more than 2 seconds? What do you mean? It sounds like a skill issue. Sounds like a skill issue, Andrew. Dude, just get good. Just lucid dream. Duh. It's like reliving your waking life in a different way. I lucid dream too. Do you write them down? I don't. I don't write them down. I guess I've never had to. The second you realize you're in a dream, you wake up. Man, that's tough. I really don't know. I guess, like, try to be curious about the dream. I don't know. Because, like, when I hear, oh, you're in a dream, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. And then I try to, like, change things about the dream. So I don't know. I hear that writing your dreams down in a dream journal helps. There's that. And then, what else? What else? What else is there? I feel like retelling your dreams, like speaking them out loud. Like me and Saya used to tell each other our dreams all the time when we were in college together. And in high school. Damn it, I keep doing that. Whoops. Also, I feel like if you never retell your dreams to someone else, how are you ever gonna know that you like played in multiplayer? Because literally, if I had not told anyone else about my dreams, they would have never known. We would have just gone about our entire lives like not telling each other these things. Retelling is nice. Yeah. And like when you think about it that way, it's like how many people do you think that you've had shared experiences with that like you just never told them your dream and now you'll never know if like they had the same dream too? Because apparently it can happen like over a time period. Like you could have a dream of them today and a year later they're having the same dream. Dude, it's crazy. But definitely retelling your dreams would help. 1000%. See, what else helps? I feel like meditation also helps. Ah, fuck. I did it again. Meditation. This one, I don't, like, to be honest and to be fair, I don't really do it quite often. But I hear that it helps. I hear that like just being like taking an extra like 5 minutes before you go to sleep to tell yourself like, hey, I'm going to have a nice dream tonight. And I'm going to like do my best. I'm going to have a lucid dream. I'm going to, like do all these awesome things. Really helps. Just like setting that intention. I guess instead of meditation, we should say like intention. Intention, my dudes. Oh, thanks for the hydrate. Hold on, let me do that. Okay, cool. But yeah, meditation, intention, both can be done together, intention and meditation. You're right. But just, setting that like idea out into the world of like, I'm going to do this tonight and I'm going to like have a good time. And if I lucid dream, it's going to be great. Another thing that I used to always do when I was younger, not that I think that this helped or anything, but it's something fun to do in my opinion, is like I would create one storyline, and then just make that storyline go as far as I could before I fell asleep. So for example, like the one storyline that I had was like, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say it because it's really cringe. So I just created a story and then I just continued the story like night after night. So if I would say like, oh, in this story, I am like a bird and I'm like flying over to like Italy, then what do I find? Like I find this or whatever. And then like if I fell asleep at the part where I'm like traveling to Italy, then the next night when I'm like trying to fall asleep, I'll like start the dream again from like, okay, this is like my dream left off or my storyline left off with like I was flying to Italy. So now I'm flying to Italy. What happens next? What happens next? What happens next? That sort of thing. But yeah. That's what I was doing night after night. So just like creating a narrative. Creating a narrative. Say, I need to make fun of you kindly? No way. No way. I'll take it with me to my grave. No way am I going to say it. But yeah, creating a narrative is also really good. Like, even if the narrative is as simple as like, this is a quill. I don't know how to draw a quill. Even if the narrative is as simple as like saying like, I'm going to insert myself into like this anime, or I'm going to like insert myself into this book or this story. Like it's just something to keep your mind busy. Or like even like say you have like a really cool dream, right? You have a really cool dream and you're like, damn, fuck, like I really want to like continue that dream tomorrow. Then you just like retell yourself that story before you fall asleep and boom, you're in the dream again. I've had so many dreams like that. Bear, hello! Bear, it's been so long. How are you? Welcome in. I like to say I am who I am, and that is enough in the morning and night. Aw, that's beautiful. I love that. Jackie. Rain, that is a good quill. Well, better than something I can draw. Thanks. I don't even know if that's what they look like. We talking about dreams, yeah. Our hopes and dreams. You're good. What party? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. But okay, I also want to read Andrew's story that he posted on Discord. Also, I'm glad that you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing good, Bear. Thanks for stopping by. All right, let's see what Andrew had to write. This is Terraria related. Okay. See, we're off to a good start. Okay, so this is Terraria related, so most here may not get it at all, but this is a weird dream, but it was about me logging into Terraria to grind. And I was looking around and I saw a magic gun called the Matter Modulator. I think it's a real Terraria weapon, but it was like a black and purple railgun, and basically it needed like a bar of some kind and a 4D star, I guess. I just went through the boss log until I found a boss that was in the vein of Leviathan, so it was a big-ass purple and black eye with someone else, and while I was fighting it, someone new summoned Moonlord in the middle of me fighting my boss. And then your friend joined at some point on his alt account and decided to help you instead of, like, I don't know, the new players who were fighting Moonlord. And that's all you remember. So it sounds like you've been playing Terraria way too long. You were pew-pewing it? You were pew-pewing the Terrarias? I still haven't checked out that game. I really should. To add context, so I'm the class out of everyone a mage, and so that's why I pointed out Magic Gun. And most items are created out of bars like copper or iron, or like this one, probably like Cosmolite bars? What's that? A type of bar in Terraria. And we have a mod called Boss Log, where you can see every boss you can fight in the game. And there was a new one that's a purple and black eye. Moonlord is the vanilla final boss. Dude, it sounds... Terraria sounds like an MMO. Is Terraria an MMO? You're fine. Let me see if I can bring it up. Hold on. If I can find my cursor. Oh, there it is. There it is. Wait, Terraria actually is an MMO? I'm trying to get these things out of the way. There we go. Let's look at what Terraria actually is. Terraria. Dude, I recognize that character. This one. This guy here. Also, hold on. Why is this not playing? Oh my god, why is it like this? Is this from Coco? Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. What a good song. You can give content to things. Okay, what is this? Do you make your own houses? I'm gonna cry! This song is so good! Oh, context. Who's this? Also, who are these people? When you make houses, NPCs can move in like a merchant? Are you making houses for them, or do they just waltz into your home and be like, yo, this is my house now? Moon Lord, the green guy, the green and brown guy. This guy here? This is Moon Lord. I'm actually right. You build a house and then people are like, yo, this is my house now. Dude, that sucks. What the heck? Build your own house. Why? Why would I do that? Also, let's turn on this one. Wait, hold on. What about those other characters that I pointed out? Like these guys? Is this an actual character? This guy in gold? I ask because I remember someone having like his avatar as like or his face as an avatar. The final armors in vanilla, each one is for a different class. Oh. Oh. Mage is the purple one. Yeah, I kind of figured. I honestly did not expect it to look like this. It kind of looks like Stardew Valley. Is that an unfair assessment? Is that an unfair thing to say? I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks a little like Stardew Valley. It sounds a little bit like Stardew Valley too. Ranger is the green, melee is the gold one, and blue is summoner. What's the difference between a summoner and a mage? In one you make a farm and in the other one you kill a god. They sound like the same thing to me. They sound the same to me. You're making a community. Ooh, who's this guy? That's pretty cool. Terraria seems cool. Wait, there's a Kickstarter? Oh, for a board game! I would love to play the board game. I love board games. It's that one Pokemon. This looks pretty cool. It reminds me of like Minecraft and like Stardew Valley and stuff like that. It's pretty neat, pretty neat. Right, let's get back into the middle of things. There we go. Summoner has pets called Leviathan. Wait, has pets and stuff that do murder. As any good pet would. A modded boss called Leviathan. Oh, right, the one that you mentioned in your dream. I have the best timing. I have the best timing, dude. I'm not sure why. Like, specifically with you, I have the best timing. All right, so tomorrow Tomorrow we stream again at 5:30, our typical time for the weekday, and we are going to start playing some Life is Strange. Rather, we're going to continue playing Life is Strange because I started playing it a while ago and then I forgot. I forgot to keep playing it because other stuff came up like Silent Hill and Mouthwashing, and I'm so happy I played those games. But oh fuck! No, wait, you guys don't know about that. Never mind. Never mind. Don't look behind the curtain. I was going to say tomorrow we actually have a collab, but we don't. I will be collabing with I'll be collabing with someone, and I'll be on their stream, but I won't be streaming it to my end because it's like during the day. So I don't think that anyone will be able to catch it anyway. So don't worry about it. We're still gonna have our regularly scheduled stream at 5:30. So yeah, I hope you guys tune in for that. You looked away. That's what you get for looking away. That's what you get. But yeah, I need to go because I need to go eat. I was in the middle of eating when when we started streaming, so I need to finish my food. Thank you guys so much for joining. Let's see if maybe we can raid out to someone. Who should we raid today? Who should we raid? There is literally no one online. Great. Great. No, thank you for being here. I'm going to raid out to a new person because we don't really have much of anyone who is online today. So let's do this one. It looks like they have chill vibes going on, so if you guys don't enjoy your experience, that's not my fault. I'm so sorry ahead of time, but I hope this person will be chill and cool. I think they're chill. They look pretty chill, and it looks like they're about to start playing some games, so I hope you guys have a good time. Also, their name is very fitting. Their name is Blank Dream. Wow, Blank Dream. Tell them I went ahead and said hi when you guys finally get there. If you guys want to join in on the raid, feel free to do so. Here's our raid message. Feel free to copy and paste our raid message, and then we'll head on over. So let me do that myself. Copy that, and then we'll go raid. All right, see you guys later. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.